Unit 2, Lesson 11, the environment. It's a hot topic nowadays. Everybody's talking about the environment, right? And yeah, we are going to talk about the environment. We are going to expand our vocabulary about this theme. We are going to learn a lot of words and new expressions, okay? And yeah, before we get started, I have a question for you. Do you care about the environment? How much do you care about the environment? Okay, how much do you care about the environment? Okay, and oh, okay, I recycle, I save water, I save energy. Okay, I turn off the lights. I don't throw garbage in the streets. Do you think it's enough? What do you do? Do you care about the environment? What do you do to save the planet? And then, talking about this save the planet, I'd like to recommend you a very nice video on YouTube. It's an actor, like a stand-up comedian, talking about saving the planet. I'll show you. Where is it? Yes. And then I have here George Carlin, and I'm going to paste the link here for you guys to watch this video later. He covers this subject in a very nice and funny and controversial way. So I strongly recommend you to watch this video about him talking about saving the planet. Okay, do you think it's possible to save the planet? Do you think we can save the planet? What do you think? Watch this video, and yeah, maybe you change your mind, huh? Let's see. All right, beautiful. So let's get back to the text, and then we have Mahatma Gandhi, no, Gandhi Ji. I have his quotation here. Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed. Greed. Huh? Strong word. Do you know what this word means? Greed. Greed. Ganância. Okay? Greed. So greedy, the adjective, ganancioso. Okay? Do you agree with the Gandhiji, with Mahatma Gandhi? Earth provides enough to satisfy every man's need, but not every man's greed. It's a famous quotation from Gandhi. And then, yeah, we are going to read this text together. Actually, you're going to read it first. I'm going to ask you to pause and read the text, this part, and this part as well, and look the words up in the dictionary. It's paramount that you know all of the words that were used in this text, okay? Because the more words you know, the better you understand next time you read something related to the same topic, all right? So press pause now, read the text, and after we are going to read the text together, checking the vocabulary out. We are going to break down the text, all right? So pause now and read the text. Excellent. How was it? Easy? Difficult? How many new words were there in this article, in this text? Now we're going to read it together, right? And expand our vocabulary. Let's do it. Our changing planet. The Uppsala Glacier in Argentina used to be one of the biggest glaciers in South America. In 1928, okay, you can say in 1928 or in 1928. It's easier just to separate here, okay? In 1928, it was covered in ice and snow. But now the glacier is melting at an annual rate of about 650 feet, about 200 meters. So the area is covered in water. This evidence This is evidence of global warming. Let's see it. So the Uppsala Glacier in Argentina used to be one of the biggest glaciers in South America. Ev, I don't know what Uppsala is or Uppsala Glacier, okay? There are many ways to know it. You can translate, and that's fine, no problem. If you just want to copy here the word, okay? And then you open your translator. It can be Google Translator, it can be Cambridge Dictionary, which is my favorite. Sometimes you can just type it on Google and check images, okay? And check the images and you have a better understanding. So you don't need to translate the word, you just understand. So that's the Uppsala Glacier in Argentina, all right? Yeah, so it used to be one of the biggest glaciers in South America. In 1928, like 95 years ago, it was covered in ice and snow. But now the glacier is melting. Okay, melting. Melt. Derreter. No problem to translate words like that, okay? The idea here is to know the meaning of the word, incorporate it into our vocabulary, and use it when you need it, okay? At an annual rate, okay, rate is the percentage, okay? Rate, the percentage, okay? So rate, the percentage. The percentage of about 650 feet, 200 meters, okay? So the area is covered in water. This is evidence of global warming. Effects of climate change. This paragraph now. In the last 100 years, the global temperature has gone up by around 1.3 Fahrenheit degrees. Fahrenheit degrees or degrees Fahrenheit, okay? Equivalent to 0.75 Celsius. This may not sound like much, but such a small increase is causing sea levels to rise and threatening the habitat of many species of plants and animals. An increase of 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 degrees Celsius, in global temperatures could result in extinction of 30% of world's land species. Wow! Let's understand this paragraph here. So in the last 100 years, the global temperature has gone up, okay, has gone up by around 1.3 degrees Fahrenheit, equivalent to Celsius. This may not sound like much, maybe it's nothing, but such a small increase is causing sea levels, the levels of the sea, to rise and threatening. So to threat means ameaçar. So it is threatening the habitat of many species. The pronunciation species of plants and animals. An increase of 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit in global temperatures could result in extinction of 30% of world's land species, not sea species, not air species, land species, okay? Because the sea level is going to rise and is going to cover some land areas, okay? That's dangerous, okay? We can say that the animals will be extinct or endangered, okay? Em extinção also, you can say endangered animals, okay? Endangered animals. Oh. All right, next. The Northwest Passage is a sea route that runs along the northern coast of Canada between the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. In the past, it was often, doesn't matter, difficult to use because the water was frozen. However, increasing temperatures and the subsequent deglaciation have made it easier for ships to travel through this route. The trouble is that the melting of the ice will lead to loss of habitat for the polar bears and other species that live in this area. Let's see this paragraph carefully. Let's see some meanings and some pronunciations. So the Northwest west, okay? Northwest. Passage is a sea route that runs along the northern coast. So north means norte, okay? Northern means do norte, okay? Or setentrional, they like to call it, no? Do norte. Do sul, southern, okay? Do sul, southern. Do oeste, western. Western. And do leste, eastern. Okay? So, east, leste. Eastern, do leste. Okay? Northern coast of Canada. Between the Atlantic and the Pacific Oceans. In the past, it was often difficult to use because the water was frozen. However, increasing temperatures and the subsequent deglaciation. Okay, so glaciation. Okay, suppose you don't know this word, you copy here. We check here in the Cambridge Dictionary. Glaciation. The forming existence of movement of glaciers over the surface of Earth. The opposite deglaciation is when the ice becomes water. Okay? So it's the opposite. Deglaciation. Have made it easier for ships, okay, like Titanic, like Batomush, to travel through this route. The problem is that the melting of the ice will lead to loss of habitat for the polar bears, okay? So the animal, bear. Bear. Don't confuse with beer, the drink, okay? Don't confuse with gear, okay? With your car, the gear, okay? Don't confuse with beard, okay? Beard. And don't confuse with bird, okay? Don't confuse the pronunciation of these words. So, bear, okay? Beer, okay? Gear, beard, and bird, okay? Bear, beer, gear, beard, bird. Pronounce it out loud. You have to practice the pronunciation of these words, all right? Next paragraph. Experts predict that global sea levels could rise by 12 to 48 inches, 30.5 to 122 centimeters by the end of the century. Consequently, some areas that were land a few hundred years ago are now underwater, and many low-lying islands may be underwater in the future. Experts predict. So to predict means to forecast, to foresee, okay? To forecast, prever. That global sea levels could rise by 12 to 48 inches. Inches is the unit of measure that they use in the United States, okay? Polegadas. Here we use centimeters. That's why I have the conversion. 12 inches, 30 centimeters. 48 inches, 122 centimeters. All right? By the end of the century, what does it mean? Century means século, okay? Century. Consequently, some areas that were land a few hundred years ago are now underwater. And many low-lying islands close to the sea level, okay? We have high islands and low-lying islands may be underwater in the future. Yeah, if the island is next to the sea level, the water is rising, the island may be underwater in the future. All right? Next paragraph. As a result of the changing climate, the world's ecosystems are also changing faster than ever before. More than 1/3 of the world's mangrove forests and around 20% of the world's coral reefs have been destroyed in the last few decades. Forests are being cut down to provide land for food because the human population is growing at such a rapid rate. Approximately a quarter of the land on Earth is now used for growing food. As a result of the higher temperatures and higher levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, plants are now producing more pollen, which could lead to more cases of asthma, a medical condition that makes it hard to breathe. Okay? Let's see this paragraph here, paying very close attention. As a result, do you remember this connector? Very important. As a result of the changing climate, the world's ecosystems are also changing faster than ever before. More than 1/3 of the world's mangrove forests. Ev, what does mangrove forest mean? So you copy here, okay? You can check on Google, in Google Images, and you see the mangrove forest, okay? That's the mangrove, okay? A specific type of forest. You see, mangrove forest. And around 20% of the world's coral reefs, you copy here, and you check here, coral reefs. And you can see the coral, okay? The coral reefs. Have been destroyed in the last few decades. Forests, be careful, it's not flaw, it's for. Forests are being cut down to provide land for food because the human population is growing at such a rapid rate. Approximately a quarter. A quarter is 25%, okay? A quarter of the land on Earth is now used for growing food. We don't say plant food, okay? In English you say grow food. Plantar comida. In English, grow food. As a result of the higher temperatures and higher levels of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, plants are producing more pollen, which could lead to more cases of asthma, a medical condition that makes it hard to breathe. Be careful with the pronunciation. Breathe. We don't pronounce letter E at the end, at the last syllable, okay? At the end of the word. So breathe. All right? Let's move forward. We are almost there. Causes of climate change. Climate, we don't pronounce the E. Climate change. What is causing climate change? The main cause is the huge amount of greenhouse gases, such as methane and carbon dioxide, CO2, in the atmosphere. But the reason for the high levels in the world's population, you and I. As the population increases, more land is needed to provide food and energy. Burning fossil fuels for heating, lighting, transportation, electricity, or manufacturing produces CO2. Furthermore, humans breathe out CO2, while trees breathe in CO2 and produce oxygen. So by cutting down trees, we are increasing the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere and reducing the amount of oxygen. As a result of human activities, CO2 levels are now at their highest in 800,000 years. Let's see some pronunciation, meanings, and structures of the language here. So what is causing climate change? The main cause is the big amount of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse. Greenhouse is not Casa Verde. Greenhouse is efeito estufa. Okay? Greenhouse efeito estufa. So greenhouse gases, such as methane and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. But the reason for the high levels is the world's population, you and I. As the population increases, more land is needed to provide food and energy. Burning fossil fuels, we saw it in the intermediate level, right? Fossil fuels. It's like gas, petroleum, okay, coal, all right? For heating, lighting, transportation, electricity, or manufacturing produces CO2. Furthermore, important connector, furthermore, moreover, in addition to that, moreover, furthermore, besides, in addition, okay? Humans breathe out. Breathe out. We breathe out. We breathe out CO2. While trees breathe in. Okay? So breathe out, exhale. Breathe out, exhale. Breathe in, inhale. Okay? Exhale. Inhale. Breathe out. Breathe in. All right? It's like a yoga practice, huh? Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale, exhale. So by cutting down trees, we are increasing the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere and reducing the amount of oxygen. As a result of human activities, CO2 levels are now at their highest. So the highest moment of CO2 in the history. We have this number here. Some Brazilians have problems with numbers, huh? The first thing is, we don't use point, period, dot. We use comma, okay? We use comma here, all right? And it's just like Portuguese. 800, 800, 100, 1000, 1000. 800,000, 800,000. All right? Last paragraph. What can be done? What can be done? The biggest challenge we all face is to prevent further environmental disasters. We must do something before it's too late. We need to reduce the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. We need to stop burning fossil fuels and start using renewable energy. We can get enough energy from renewable fuels, such as solar energy, hydroelectric energy, or wind power, to be able to stop using fossil fuels completely. Let's analyze this. So the biggest challenge we all face is to prevent further, additional environmental disasters. We must do something before it's too late. We need to reduce the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere. We need to stop burning fossil fuels and start using renewable energy. We can get enough energy from renewable fuels such as solar energy, hydroelectric energy, or wind power to be able to stop using fossil fuels completely. Do you agree? Do you think renewable energy will be the future of energy? Do you think so? Do you think that renewable energy will replace fossil fuels eventually? What do you think? Nice. And now you are going to check all the words that I might have not worked out with you, okay? Read the text. Make sure you know all of the words. Write them down in your notebook and do this exercise here. You have two? Yes. We have two exercises for you to complete. These two exercises. So after you finish this exercise, you can go to the next lesson to see the correction of these two exercises. All right? I'll see you soon.